Friday evening. I've been drawing on and off today. I've had quite a few other bits to do as well. I had to nip into work as well for a little bit. Started the day off with a swim and a walk with Wilbur. But I've been drawing. This week I've been carrying on with the felt drawing, and I've been focusing on this bit of paper pulp that's in the felt. So I'll show you on my iPad. So, see here, there's a bit of paper pulp stuck in the felt, and this is the bit I've been focusing on this week. And I've started on that bit so that I can, well, whatever scale that is, I can then use that as a reference point and then scale the rest of the fibres to it. With the smaller drawing, there wasn't anything solid in it, it was all fibres. And the only frame of reference was the sort of shape of the edge of the fibre. So this, I think, should make it, and also with it being bigger, more zoomed in look, it should make it all much easier to map out. Because my intention is that you're actually going to be able to see the fibres a lot more with this one rather than it being a lot of lines and shading. So I'll show you this. So this is the paper pulp bit. So I've got it, there's all sorts going on here. I've got this laid down still. There will be another bit of paper pulp. Just move these things over here. It's very, very loosely drawn out there, but I'm just gonna focus up here for a little bit and just try and get this sort of solidified a bit more. So you can see I've started to put the darker areas in. I've added a couple of fibres, like I know where these are on the picture, so I've started to add those in, and this is just to lay it out, to make sure that later on when I come back to it, all the reference points are in the right place. And I'm adding the dark around this edge, like I did on the smaller drawing. I added the dark to the edge, and that's so I can see the contrast and I have an idea of contrast and what it'll look like. Because obviously down here we've got some shade, we've got a shaded area, but that is going to be against a much darker area. So I'm just mapping out the contrast as well as the scale and the rest of the drawing. I've only needed these glasses, my googly glasses, once or twice so far. I think when I get onto the fibres, I'll need them a lot more. That's when I've used them so far, it's just been on the little fibres. So I imagine when I get onto them properly, I'll be using them a lot more. And I'll also need to stand this, make my easel upright, so that I can only lean on it for so long before I start smudging things. But I want to get the basic shape in before I stand it upright, so I'll do that. I've also found, now I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but if I'm using particularly the hard pencils like the 6H, I'll try and show you one a bit. It's already, I don't think we're going to be able to see it. No, you can't see it without the magnifying glass. Will this work? Probably not. So when I'm using the harder pencils, you might have already done it on this area. No, I'm not showing you very well. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when I'm using the harder pencils, the top layer of fibre off the paper is lifting, which is making it quite hard to draw with the finer pencils. It doesn't look a bad thing, it's not bad. In fact, it might be helping with the overall aesthetic in the end, but it just means that while I'm drawing, I'm getting little tiny hairs and fibres lifting off the paper, and I'm just having to move them a little bit, and it's just making the fine lines a little bit trickier, but it'll be fine. And like I say, it's part of it, and it's part of the reason I chose the paper, was because it had that effect. I just didn't anticipate it would be as much. It's important to remember as well that these bits of paper are sort of test bits and cut off bits of paper, which is, again, it's why I picked them. I picked them because they are test papers, and not the premium papers that the Paper Foundation make. And like I say, that's part of it. It's partly why I picked these papers. Anyway, I'm going to carry on drawing, so it's Friday night, so I should get a good bit of drawing done this weekend. Tomorrow, mostly, and a bit more on Monday. On Sunday, it is the Yorkshire Three Peaks cyclocross event. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned it much on this channel. I love cycling, big cycling fan, and I've mentioned that I do freelance photography. Now, I'm not being paid by Yorkshire Three Peaks to photograph this at all, but I'm going to go along and watch the race and take some photographs on Sunday, so I'll probably take you along with me and show you some of the pictures, hopefully. I'm excited for that. So anyway, back to drawing. So we're out in, well, we're at Ribblehead Viaduct behind me there, at the cyclocross, Three Peaks cyclocross. Laura's sat behind me watching our stuff. So yeah, here to take some pictures. Quite a good crowd down at this part. So the cyclists start way over there. They go up Pennygent, which is that hill there. Come back down Pennygent, they go behind, and then they go up Ingleborough, which is that one just there. Down Ingleborough, across, over that way, over there, and they go up here, which is Whernside, over the top of Whernside, down Whernside, and then they'll come over this little hill here, down these steps, and that's where we are. I think I'm going to try and get some good photographs and share them with you later. So I'm back home today. We had a great day out yesterday. I took loads of pictures. I just did a photograph for fun. I enjoy watching bike races. So I photographed all that for fun. I sent my pictures to the organisers, the Three Peaks cyclocross organisers, and they've shared them with anyone that wants them. And I've just said people can have them for free. So and that's it. I just go along to bike races because I enjoy bike races. I enjoy taking pictures, and cycling doesn't always get a lot of money, especially like races like that. So I really don't mind people getting the pictures and having access to them and using them. So that's that. I've just shown you a couple of the pictures I took yesterday then, and I've carried on drawing today. and well, it's quite a lot. I'm chipping away at this. I've got I'm glad I've started this when I've started it, because November, September, October, November are my busiest months at work. Wilbur's trotting around, so you can probably hear him in the background. So yeah, they're my busiest days at work. I work 4 days. So I've got Friday to Sunday to get art stuff done. So I'm making steps with this drawing, getting them. I think once these paper bits, once the tissue paper bits or the pulped paper bits are done, I don't know, I think maybe progress will start being quite quick, maybe. I don't know. I've not really got much reference for this. I need to get more how-to videos done. I've just not had time to get them done at all, because I've been trying to film them in the week. I've just not had any time in the week to do it. Anyway, this week, carrying on with this drawing, of course, and then I've signed on to a class, a workshop next Sunday, to learn how to paint canal boat roses. So I'll show you that after I've done it. Hopefully I'll be able to get a bit of filming, like film a few bits of it if she doesn't mind while I'm there. I'll tell you more about that. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this, do that class, which would be good. And then, yeah, I really just need to get going with this, and I'll try my hardest to get a how-to out this week. I've got a few that I want to do. I want to do the varnish one that I mentioned last week. There's an emulsion one I want to do. I want to do some paint mixing ones. I also want to show you a bit about graphite and working in negative space as well, which is sort of some of that might be going on in this drawing. So there's plenty I want to show you. It's just having the time to do them. Yeah, because I've got to balance this with my full-time job. So, right. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you're new, please subscribe. If you want to see some how-tos, let me know what you want to see. And I'll see you soon. Bye.